Looks like we got a little bit of a tale of two people here.
Yeah, we do have a tale
As
of
we
two
can tell,
people.
on the left here, or on my left, is someone who is going through immense pain and suffering, and on my end, at least right now, I I could say I'm pretty happy.
It's game
Welcome.
7 right now.
It is game seven. They're currently playing right now, 0-0 at the end of the first period. Um, but welcome to episode 6 of Pond Hockey Podcast. Uh, with my best friend Jimmy.
What's up? Don't mind
He
me
is
vibing over here.
he's doing it to try and deal with the pain. No, I'm just
Yeah,
uh yeah, this has been an interesting, very, very odd second round, to say the least.
it's been interesting.
Um, what series do we want to start with?
We
Start
can
with the least
start.
painful and go to more painful as
Yeah,
it
let's
goes
start the
on.
least. Let's start in our definition, the least painful. I think it's New Jersey and Carolina, honestly, because there's not really a
Yeah.
lot to say about it.
You kind of brought it home better when they said, when we talked about it last episode, where for some reason they said, let's start Vanacek for a game.
Yeah,
Why?
I still don't get it. I still
I
don't.
don't know why Lindy Ruff did that. I don't understand it.
I mean, it's not like it cost them the series since they lost in 5 games, but at the same time, like
Yeah, they were not ready.
it might have gotten it to go to 6 if they started the hot goaltender like the entire time, if they started Schmid, but it New Jersey was a young team. It happens. I mean,
I think they'll be fine.
oh yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. Like they actually did better than my expectation was of them. So, I think they'll have their time. Carolina's just a good team. We all
They're
know
so
that.
good.
We all know that. They're probably, other than Seattle, they're probably like the deepest team in terms of depth like left in this thing. Like I don't think it's
I
that
think
much of a
Vegas is still
surprise.
really deep.
Yeah, they are. They are.
The biggest thing I think that's helped, and I think you can sort of see it, Florida, I think, is the only exception to this, where you get like you have solid production from your forwards,
Yeah.
but you get like really good production from your defense,
Oh yeah.
both offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, from guys like Brett Burns to Jacob Slavin and more, like they've just had so much just talent mixed with depth helping them through the postseason.
Yeah, and I think Brent Burns is one of those guys who's like he can silently win like a Conn Smythe trophy if Carolina ends up getting it done. He's been that good, and it's kind of surprising to say because like I'm in one of the sects where like a little while ago I thought Brent Burns was done with the
Yeah, no, he
Sharks.
was
Like
looking
it
like
was bad.
he was looking last season. I think he got himself a like back towards it.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
And I was like, okay, it looks like he's gonna be like a good leadership role.
Yeah,
No, he's probably been their best defenseman this season
yeah. In
and in the
terms of offensive
playoffs.
production, yeah, I agree with that.
I'd say even defense, I'd say he's like top two.
Yeah, Jacob Slavin is normally their
Slavin's a
top guy.
stud.
Yeah, Slavin's always their top guy. But
I think,
just in terms of that series, like there's not really a whole lot to say. Carolina did what Carolina does best. They have a lot of depth scoring. They'll hit you. They're a really fast team. They got saves when they needed it. Like it's
and they
not to
still have
say
Mark
New
Nietzsche still
Jersey.
underperforming as well. Like, if imagine
Yeah.
he gets going,
And I think he will.
which is scary.
They're still only halfway there. So like
Oh
they
yeah.
have time. So if there's
Like
ever a time to turn it on, it's against Florida.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that towards
Yeah.
the end because
Yeah.
that one we're gonna stay on for a little bit. I have a few things,
Yeah.
you have a few things, but
Yeah. I have a
I think this is
lot of
kind of the
things.
simplest one because it kind of, I don't want to say it felt predictable because they were only different, like decided by a point. I
Yeah.
think at
Like
the end, yeah. So it just felt weird, but it's also one of those things where it's like it feels weird. I don't know.
well, I don't know if weird's the right word. Just with Carolina and New Jersey, even though they finished like with 1 point separation, to me
Big
this
difference.
series to me this series was always Carolina's to lose just
Yeah.
because of like they have the experience, they have more speed, they have the guys who know what it takes. So New Jersey, I think this one is just really going to be a growing experience. I think beating the Rangers is going to give them a big boost, like
Oh
throughout
yeah.
their core's lifespan. Um, this is definitely not the end for New Jersey, though. I think they'll be
Oh
right
no.
back here next year.
The guys like Hamilton, Nico Heischer, and Jack
Yeah,
Hughes are gonna be just
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I think they'll be fine.
And mind you, this is also without no Svechnikov whatsoever.
Yeah, like
This
it's
is crazy.
really surprising. I mean, Svechnikov was a big part of their team throughout this season, and I guess they didn't well don't need him. Like, sure, of course not. You mean to tell me Carolina's a better team without him versus with
No,
him? But
but that's what's scary.
yeah, they're still doing great. That just tells you how much depth scoring they have. They've
Oh
got
yeah.
guys that stepped up.
I guess in terms of the next series, honestly, I'd say let's jump to Seattle because it's been a little more of
Yeah,
the simpler series. Game seven is
yeah.
going on right now. They're 3 minutes in, it's still 0-0. But I'm gonna be doing this. This is
Yeah.
so bad. I remember the night you did this, or we were watching the Leafs game. I think it's the one
Oh,
that
I
came out from
remember.
4-1, if I remember.
Yeah, it was. It was as the Leafs were down 4-1. And I remember you kept giving me updates like, oh, it's 4-2. And then, oh, it's 4-3. And then funny thing was like
We get off it, it's still 4-3, and then immediately they
literally
tie it.
30 seconds. 30 seconds after we end the show, it gets tied 4-4. And I run back to my apartment to watch the overtime.
And I remember I was watching games 4, 5. They were not playing great, but I
No, they
forget
weren't.
if they lost both those games. Gruer looked awful in both. The
Yeah.
team just looked, and defensively they looked like a mess. Oh my god, I think Will Borgen played his worst game ever in Game 5. He was horrid.
Yeah, it was really
He was
bad.
horrid in Game 5, and I was sitting like, well, they got one chance to respond. They're at home. They have the team to do it.
Yeah, they
They
do.
have to just step up. And they gave probably their best playoff performance
Oh,
all year.
by a lot too, because like I thought after game 5, I'm like, okay, Seattle had a good run, they exceeded expectations and they come back in game 6 and just like smack the shit out of the Stars. And I'm like,
They
okay.
actually walloped them. It was
Yeah, they
crazy.
did.
Andy Gordon, Tolvin, that third line might be the best third line in hockey. I will stand by that.
Seattle
Tolvin and
in
Bjorkstrand and Gord, that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Seattle, in my opinion, I've been saying this for a while. They're the deepest team in these playoffs. Like they got guys who are scoring up and down the lineup, and it's tough to stop. Like you got Jake Ottinger, who looks like a completely different human being when he's winning versus when he's losing. Like his goals against average when he wins is like below a 2 in this series. And when he loses, it's damn near a
Gosh,
4.
it's like
Yeah, I was
four.
going to
Yeah,
say,
bad is what it is.
like, I
Like,
don't get it.
and the worst part was I genuinely watched all of them. I'd say only one would be on him, which was the very last one.
Yeah.
The first, I think the first one was like one. The defense just let Yandy Gord just skate on in, take a shot in, and
Yeah.
just do nothing about it.
Oh, imagine letting a guy skate in and doing nothing about sorry.
The
Later,
sound of
later,
pain.
later, Jimmy. Later,
Yeah,
later.
no, I get it, but no, that they had the third goal where they just no one was on Tolvaden on the side. You could say Odger should have
Yeah.
had it, but it was a good shot.
I
And then
mean,
the Ty
sometimes
Cardi
a good
one,
shot just beats you.
and then Ty Cardi's, which is like the only one I was like, oh, that was a little.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
was like, that's
agree.
also a nasty shot from him. So
Yeah, like Seattle, like they have a good mix of like nasty, greasy goals where like you get in front of the guy and you bang in a rebound, and then they have ones where it's just like pick a corner. Like a
yeah,
lot of the
no,
time, Seattle just picks corners on you. It's like it's insane. Whoever like their power play coach is, like who definitely
he's
helps
great.
people on their shots, like
It
they're
also
picking
helps.
corners.
Like I said, remember with Carolina, I said defense, having good defense offensively and defensively helps. Well, it helps
Yeah.
that Seattle's entire top six for defense all have a goal.
Oh yeah, like it's
Even Carson
crazy.
Soucy and Will Borgen. That's insane to me knowing that.
I'm not
That they've
surprised.
gotten. We're
Yeah.
also getting shelled in the second period right now. It's so we're getting outshot 5-0.
All you gotta do is survive, man. Game 7. All you gotta do.
Stand on your head, Grubauer, please.
Yeah, all you gotta do is survive.
Yeah, but overall, I think this has been a good series.
I think it's probably been the most entertaining of the bunch.
Oh, without question, it's the only one that went to 7, and
Yeah.
for the most part, hasn't had any controversy,
It really hasn't, to be honest with you. Like it's
unlike a
been
certain other series.
a lot of
Oh, a
series.
certain two series actually.
I was gonna say two of the four have had a lot of controversy in them. Like it's
One way worse than the other, I will say that.
yeah, yeah. There
But
were a couple where I'm like, okay, like I mean, it really just goes to show that like the NFL or wow, the NHL officials, they are bad. They are not out to get your team. They're just bad for everyone. And
they
like
just don't do their job.
they don't like they make WWE officials look like they're competent human beings. So and that shit's
Honestly,
scripted. So like,
that's the
and I'm a
worst
wrestling
thing.
fan, and I'm saying that as a wrestling fan. Like WWE officials are better than NHL ones, and
Mm-hmm.
it's scripted. Like guys, I
Call
I don't
something,
know. Do
anything.
something.
Call something, anything.
Being an NHL official might be one of the most easy jobs on the planet because you literally get paid to stand there on skates and watch an NHL playoff game and do absolutely fucking nothing. Like it's the dream job. You don't have to do anything. It's fantastic. Like, and they're not. I mean, if I were making like the rules and making the protocol for the officials, like I'm not sure how much I would change for the regular season. It's not like you can just rip the entire rule book out like they do now. I would show like a couple discrepancies, change some rules, like especially if it applies to the regular season too, just to make it more
Yeah,
consistent. That's what I'd do.
like it's just so frustrating because it's like they have all the rules in place, and then they like it's just a tale of two parts. That's why I call it a tale of two. We started that because it's like during the regular season they'll call just about anything under the sun. A
Yeah.
lot of things get put under review, and it's like the dumbest, most minute things sometimes. Then the playoffs, they don't call anything
Nope.
unless it's
Because
like egregious.
they just don't want to be the reason why teams lose, but because they're doing that, they're often the reason why teams lose. Like, just call it normally. It happens.
I
If a
think at
team
this point,
deserves a
should we go to the
penalty,
series that has been egregiously badly officiated?
yeah, because like you can't really talk about this without bringing this up.
Which one? Game 4 or game 5?
Oh, for Edmonton and Vegas,
Yeah, which one? Petrangelo
literally,
or the other
literally the
one?
whole series, the
Returnal
entire
Nurse
series,
or
dude. There's one that sticks out to me
which
because
one?
the Petrangelo two-hand Paul Bunyan on Leon Draisaitl.
Did he even get a game or did he get
He
one? I
got
forget.
one game.
That's insane to
But
me.
dude,
Did
you
Draisaitl
can't be.
play?
Yeah, he did.
But I'll
It
be
wouldn't
curious to see if
surprise
the off
me.
season if he has a smashed wrist or something.
As of right now, we haven't heard about like Draisaitl's wrist or anything like that. The injury report will probably come out within the next 24 hours. But no, like I under no circumstances should Petrangelo have been playing the rest of the series because of that. Like that is a
That's
blatant
ridiculous.
it's blatant intent to injure. Like you cannot tell me Petrangelo didn't mean to take a two-handed Paul Bunyan slash only on Draisaitl's wrist. And the reason
I
why
have
he
a
did
problem with
it,
that though.
what's up?
Because you said he should have been suspended. I just don't expect it at this point because
I don't
because I
either.
think back to the I don't to the Stars Wild series where Matt Dumba single handedly almost
Yep.
knocked out 3 players, and I don't even think got a single game.
Nope. Like,
Like
dude,
it's easily turned into one of the dirtiest players in the league. Didn't get one game for it, and that blows my mind.
yeah. It's like I get not wanting to take the players out of the lineup, but at the same time, Alex Petrangelo tried to take Leon Draisaitl's hand off.
It was as blatant as you could get.
It was blatant. Like, and the other thing is like the NHL, like they need to crack down on this shit at the end of games because what teams do
Yikes.
at the end of games is when they're losing, they take a pound of flesh with them. It happened in this series. It happened in the Leafs Panther series where the Leafs
Yep.
were winning the game and Kachuk was
Matthew Nyes.
punching
Or
people in the face and
oh
Sam
yeah.
Bennett was
Oh
punching Jake
Sam.
McCabe on the fucking ground. Like it's the
I
same
remember.
thing.
Oh yeah, that.
Like it's the same fucking thing. Like you can't be doing this. Like it's a sub-professional league that lets that happen. Like you can't allow a two-handed slash on the second best player in the NHL, the best player of these playoffs. Like you can't do it. Like it's so fucking
hmm
annoying to see the best players getting targeted for no reason and like, oh, it's a smack on the wrist for a one game suspension. And then
Yeah, no.
Darnell Nurse gets a fucking
A
suspension
game
for
suspension.
instigating a fight.
Yeah,
I wonder why
that
he
was
instigated
laughable.
the fight.
Was that the same game?
It was the same game. Same game. It was the same sequence. I wonder why Darnell Nurse wanted to fight
Oh,
someone. It's almost like his teammate, his teammate's wrist got obliterated.
gee, I wonder if they would have given Connor McDavid a suspension because he got punched. He went and punched a few people. I remember.
Fuck
I
no,
know.
they're not.
Yeah, I know.
They're
They're
not
stupid, but they're not
suspending
that
a star
stupid.
player. Like they're not suspending a star player. Like they
Like
have a
any other
couple
year,
of
they would have probably
guys.
swallowed the whistle on Darnell
Yeah,
Nurse because he was the best defenseman until this year. Because
yeah.
oh, look at Evan Bouchard. But
Evan
it's just I do
Bouchard.
agree with that.
Evan Bouchard was a freaking beast, man. Like that playoff performance was one for the ages, man. And that kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it out of him.
He was
He
only like
was
a half a point a game player as well. Like it's just one of those things where it's like you have guys who just you just have something click when the lights come on.
yeah. Like that's going to be pretty valuable going forward because the Oilers need that sort of thing to be successful.
They need
Um,
better depth, is what they need.
because the Oilers are in a very similar situation to the Leafs right now, where they're kind of at a crossroads.
I wouldn't
Um,
say that the only thing that's
yeah,
helping them right now is last year they got to the conference final,
yeah, but they didn't
and
win a
that was
game
with
in the
worse
conference
depth.
finals.
Did they get swept?
Yeah, they got swept by Colorado. So the
Mhm.
honestly, you're at about the same level you were last year. Like you're
I
at the
guess that's
same point.
true.
I'm seeing online that people are like, "Oh, McDavid and Draisaitl don't have it in the playoffs. Like they need to change something." I'm like,
That's
"Okay,
not true.
you cannot get rid of McDavid or Draisaitl. Draisaitl has the best contract in the NHL. If you trade Leon Draisaitl, like that is so many levels of stupid that
If
there
you
are
trade
not
Leon Draisaitl,
words.
contract your franchise.
There are no words for the level of stupid trading Leon Draisaitl would be
There's no
because
benefit.
Leon Draisaitl on like any other franchise would probably be
Their
first
star
or
player.
second in terms of like greatest of all time. He's that good. Like
It's almost like
Leon
who was Messier? Who didn't Messier play with Gretzky, or am I thinking of someone else?
Messier played with Gretzky. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because it's
was on
like
that
those two.
Oilers team. He was on the Oilers
It's almost
teams.
like something like that. It's just
Yeah,
ironic because they're also on the Oilers. But
yeah. Well, that's why they're like Draisaitl, McDavid. McDavid might scratch some records. Draisaitl probably won't, just because of how good the franchise leaders are in points. Like to give you an idea, Matthews had like the longest point streak in Leafs history with like 11 games or something like that.
hmm
If he had that on Edmonton, it wouldn't even crack like top 15. Not even close. Because of
God damn.
Gretzky and
God damn.
Messier and Paul Coffey, like Yari Curry, like wouldn't
That's
even touch it.
that's that's insane. Oh
One,
my
it tells
god.
you how good the Oilers franchise history is. Two, it tells you how fucking pathetic the Leafs franchise history is.
But yeah, no, it just the worst part is I like you if you whine about it as an Edmonton fan, no, you can't.
Like, I don't think Edmonton has like room to whine about like losing the series. They definitely have room to complain about just the
Horrible fish.
supplemental discipline afterwards because like
You could definitely whine about the
yeah.
officiating because it almost got a star play. Probably one of the best players in the league hurt on your team. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Yeah,
100%
it
fair.
is. It
If you
is.
whine and say it lost you the series, no,
I
don't
don't think
even
it
try.
lost them the series, but it definitely like they do have ground to stand on that like, hey, what the fuck? Like you can't be slashing our star guy after the whistle. Like that's such a bullshit move to do. Like it should have been more than one game. Like you mean to
Oh
tell
yeah,
me Like, just again, going back to it, like, we had a 3-game suspension in the playoffs. Like, Michael Bunting who wasn't a repeat offender, by the way, gets
Mhm.
suspended 3 games, and he should have been suspended 3 games. However, if we're going off of intent to injure someone, Bunting had intent to injure, got 3 games. Petrangelo had intent to injure, got one. Like, if there's intent to injure a player, it should be minimum 3 games,
Yeah, like
in my
just think,
opinion.
yeah, like think like the Avs series, like the Avs
Yeah.
Seattle series. Jordan Everly should have got a bunch of games.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that freaking Kale McCarr should have got more than one,
Yeah.
like on Jared
Jordan
McCann.
Everly broke someone's back, for fuck's sake. No,
Yeah,
broke
and
their neck.
Cogliano might never play hockey
He's
again,
probably
and
never
I
going to play again. He's
feel
35 years old. Like,
I
there's
feel
no
awful about
way.
that. I feel awful about that. So
Everly does have some ground to stand on, though, because, like, I don't think Everly's hit was intent to injure. That was just at a bad spot at a bad time. Should he still have been suspended?
yes.
Absolutely. But him, I don't think he had as much malice behind, like, a Petrangelo hit or a Bunting hit,
Hmm.
where they, like, intentionally reached up to get their head, or
Or a
they
Matt Dumba
intentionally took
hit,
a
like
smack.
yeah, just
Like,
stuff like that. It's like it. But yeah, no, this series they let that series get away from them because I
yeah.
lost the first like the first 4 games. They were easily in it,
Oh,
and
yeah, they
then
were.
I don't know what happened. Game 5 and 6, they just looked. And I get Drysdale might have been playing injured. McDavid, you said, was playing injured the whole time, which it
Yeah.
showed at times. But like, you know who I think they might be looking at potentially?
Who?
I don't think they're going to trade him, but let's just say if the door's open, they might look at offers. Nuge. He put
You
up probably the
know,
biggest playoff dud of his life.
yeah, I'd probably get behind it if you get an offer. Like, because here's the thing, it's with star players, like, there is rarely going to be a trade that you're going to win, but at the same time, there's a lot of value in cap space,
And free
especially
agency is
for
going to be
teams
a
like
dud this
that.
year.
Yeah, it's going to be just a
I think the
trading
biggest free
frenzy.
agent is Michael Bunting, ironically.
Holy shit.
I think he's the biggest free agent. I'm dead
Frank's
serious about that.
Frank Saravalli has him at, like, his biggest free agent for this offseason.
Yeah, that's
So it's going to be teams making trades. And you know what? For some teams, that might be a benefit because, like, you can do a lot of damage in trades. You can. You just got to hit on them, but you can
Jimmy
do
is
some
that
damage.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, between that and then this goaltending situation for them is going to be very, very, very problematic.
Oh,
Because
I
Skinner was
think
bad
I think if
through
the
that playoffs.
Oilers started Jack Campbell last night, we'd be sitting here talking about something completely different. I think they'd be going
Yeah,
7.
especially because Campbell was
He got
ironically
game time
better
in games
goalie.
5 and 6. He got game time in games 5 and 6 and wasn't scored on either.
Yeah, but I think that's the worst part. It's only because they got pulled. Who even is the coach for Edmonton? I don't even know.
Jay Woodcroft. He's not a bad coach though. He's not
Okay.
like I like
Well, let's
it's
say name has never rung a bell to
yeah.
me. So
Well, coaches have this really bad habit of just going like, "Hey, I don't know which goalie to start because they're voodoo. I'm gonna play the one who I've been riding with the whole time, or I'm gonna play the one that's hot. Always play the goalie that's doing better. Always play the goalie that's doing better. It's
we
not
learned it.
fucking rocket
We
science."
learned it last year with Rod Brindamore
Yeah,
with Carolina. So
yeah,
like I think teams should learn. That's ironically what Carolina's or not Carolina. Actually, yeah, Carolina.
yeah.
They were playing Rancy. He wasn't doing great, or did he get hurt? I forget.
He got hurt.
Well, that's not shocking.
And they had to start Kunchekov, who wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. He was also a
So they
rookie.
tried
So,
Freddie, and that's worked.
oh
Ironically,
yeah, oh my God, Freddie.
ironically, shades
How
shades of 2018 going back in Jimmy's head, or 19, whichever.
about 2013, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020,
He did play
2021?
2013. I was
No,
lying.
he didn't. He might as well have because it was a similar performance, but
But
fuck me,
I
I
guess
guess.
enough with the pain. I guess let's get into the series because I feel like we got a decent bit to talk about here.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
I'm gonna let I've been talking a decent bit. I'm gonna let you take the spotlight here.
I mean, like I don't know how much there really is to say about it. I mean, the Leafs lost in Game 5 in overtime because they love to fucking torture their fans.
Nick
Because like,
Cousins, baby.
okay, all right. Fuck Radko Gudas, number one. I hate him so much.
That
Dude,
was so wild. I saw that.
dude, a blind guy could have fucking told you that he held Yarncroke's stick during the overtime winner, but it doesn't matter. Like, you can cry about that all you want, and I was pissed at the beginning of it, but every time I get mad at a call, there's this one thought that goes like into my head, and I say it out loud a lot of the time when I'm talking to someone about this series. Next time, don't take the piss and go down 3-0 in the series. It doesn't fucking matter. Every complaint people have about officiating in game 5 doesn't fucking matter. They went down 3-0 in the series. Doesn't fucking matter. Like literally, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
put yourself in that position, like it doesn't fucking matter what happens. Like,
Yeah,
if
I think they
you
played Samson
win,
off too long.
yeah, I mean, Joseph Woll wasn't even bad.
He was good.
He was really good. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Joseph Woll was their starter next season or at
I
1A,
think he's
1B
the
with Samsonov.
only I think he's the only goalie on your technically payroll next
He's the
year.
only one under contract. If I'm
I think
whoever the
Samsonov's an
hell,
RFA.
whoever the hell management's gonna be after today's like goddamn press conference talks.
Yeah. And the issue is, if I remember correctly, both Nylander and Marner, or is it Matthews? It's Nylander and one of the two. I think it's Marner. Have no trade clauses go into effect
All of them have no
July
trade
1st.
clauses. All of them have no trade clauses. All four of them.
Not yet though. Two of them haven't had them yet.
Matthews has a no trade clause that kicks it in July 1st. Nylander
Yes,
has a no
his
trade
and
clause
Nylander's kick in
on
July
July
1st, I think.
1st. Marner has a in general no move clause, and
Yeah.
Tavares has an in general no move clause.
So they technically can move Matthews and Nylander, but they'd have to do it like this year, but like now.
They'd have to do it now. You have what,
And
May, June? You have 2 months.
two
A
months,
little less
a
than two
month and a
months.
half, something like that.
Yep.
And the issue for me is it's gonna be just a wild offseason because whatever they're gonna do it like within the first like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rapid fire,
It's gonna be
and you
it's gonna
probably
suck.
know the roster by July. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, you honestly, yeah. I
And
mean,
honestly, I wanted to pull this up. Uh, I'm pulling up Cap Friendly for the Leafs.
yeah.
The
Oh, it's
big
probably
thing,
shitty. It's shitty
uh, in which way?
in the way that they have no fucking money.
Well, it's along the fact that they also have a lot of people walking this year.
Yeah, that like Wayne Simmons is walking, Bunting's
They
walking.
only have 7 forwards for next year, and 4 of them are the main four.
Oh shit.
The only other forwards after this year who are still on the payroll is Nyes, Lafferty, and Yarncrook.
Okay,
So to
so
put that in perspective,
you have some room
O'Reilly,
to work with.
Achari, Bunting, Simmons, Aston Reese, and Kerfoot are all going.
Yeah, because Ryan O'Reilly's press conference today was less than encouraging that he's gonna stay. So, well,
Really? Oh
shit.
no.
Yep.
The only good thing is the defense is mainly going to be unfazed. The only people who are UFAs is Hall, who won't be back.
I was gonna say,
Gustafson.
I have one question. Is that goddamn Justin Hall guy off of my team?
Actually, let me ask. I'm going to play this game quickly. I'm
All
going to
right.
list the names, and I want you to tell me if you think they'll be back or not.
Okay.
Let's start with the goalies.
Yep.
Joseph Wall,
Staying.
Ilya Samsonov,
Staying.
Matt Murray. He
Bought
still has
out.
another year, by the way.
Bought out.
Robied Island.
Yeah. Gone.
Get the Joffrey Loophole treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's gone.
Yikes. All right, now let's go to the Defense. Eric Gustafson,
Gone.
Connor Timmins.
Staying.
Think he'll be on the roster and with the Marlies.
Either or. I think he'll crack the roster at some point.
Justin Hall.
To the fucking moon. Gone. Gone.
Future Canuck.
I don't care who he's with as long as it's not my team. I don't care.
Future Canuck paired with Travis Dermott, baby. No,
Oh my god. God bless them. They're fucked if they do that.
That would be so funny. Mark Giordano.
Staying.
Luke Shen.
Staying, hopefully.
Timothy Liljegren.
Staying.
TJ Brody.
Staying.
This one I'm very curious about. Jake McCabe.
I want him to stay. Like, I know he had a bad series against Florida, but like other than that, like he was pretty solid when they got him. So
As of right now,
I'd
I
say
think
staying.
for me, I think Samsonov leaves. I think they might keep Gustafson,
Yeah, I think
but it could
Gustafson can
seem an
go either
expensive one.
way. I think Samsonov will stay at the right price.
I think they shot McCabe.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it depends on how much money they have when it's all said and done. I'd like to see McCabe stay. You need that physical presence, you know. Oh, it's one
No,
nothing. 1-0
no,
Seattle. 1-0
no,
Dallas.
1-0 Dallas. Freaking Rupe Hens.
Nah, damn it.
And then obviously Morgan Riley with an 8-year deal. He's not
Morgan
leaving.
Morgan Riley stays.
After the series,
Best
he's elite
one,
for life.
best one of the core by far throughout these playoffs.
It has to. Now we're gonna get to the interesting part, the forwards,
Oh,
baby.
fuck.
But I think they do. I'm just gonna say this quickly. I think they shot McCabe.
Yeah.
It's just that was just a. I get the. It's not one. It's one of those deals where the idea's right. He was
Yeah.
bad. He was awful in this setting.
He
And
was
I think
bad in
they
the
might
Florida
have to ship him.
series. The Tampa series, he was solid. Like I said, he doesn't make that much money. I'd keep him, honestly.
Maybe.
I would.
I guess because they also 3 years. I think they'll probably
Yeah.
keep him.
I think they keep him.
Now it'll be Zach Aston Reese. Gone. I'm going with.
If he's at the right price, like league min stays. If not, he's gone.
Even especially he was decent in the playoffs. I think he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wayne Simmons retiring.
Gone. Retired.
Matthew Nyes.
Staying.
Sam Lafferty.
Staying.
Yeah, they both got deals, so I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Noel Achari.
Gone. I want him to stay. I really do.
Gone.
I want him to
also
stay.
gone.
I
Actually, I
really
think he
do.
stays. I think he stays.
If they can get him to stay, I'd love that.
I think they keep him a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so.
David Kampf.
I
I'm
want him
saying
to
gone.
stay, but gone.
He's gonna get too much. I think
Yeah.
someone's gonna overpay him.
Yeah,
These are the interesting one. Michael Bunting.
gone.
For sure.
Yeah, gone. No question. Gone.
Someone's gonna overpay him.
Yep.
You think Columbus drinks the stupid juice?
He's gonna make like $5.5 million over 5 years.
I think a team like Anaheim drinks the stupid juice and pays him like $7 million.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Ryan O'Reilly.
Gone. No question.
Really?
Yeah, like his press conference today,
You
he
sound
wants to
deflated,
he
or-
wants to test free agency. That's basically what he
Oh.
said. Yeah, he's gone.
I'm gonna be
I want him to resign,
optimistic.
but
I think he's gonna stay. I'm
I
gonna
hope
say on the
so.
optimistic side. I think he stays.
I hope so.
Cal Yarncrook.
Staying. He's got a deal.
Your best buddy, Alex Kerfoot.
Staying.
I think you're gonna keep him, and I think that's a mistake.
I think he's gonna make like $1 million. Staying.
Now let's get to the main four. John Tavares.
Staying. You can't move that contract.
You can't. I also think you can't move him after the Tampa series. I just don't believe it.
I think he stays, but he loses the captaincy.
I agree. Nylander.
Contract's the easiest to move, but he's the best overall in terms of showing up in the playoffs. I think it's a mistake to move him.
I'm gonna say a hot
I
take here.
I think he stays.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either way. His contract's the easiest to move, but it's stupid to move him. His deal is the best of the four,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed up in both series. Like,
That's the
if
issue. I
they
think he's the only one you might get.
if they move Nylander, I'm gonna be legitimately pissed. I'm gonna be legitimately angry because he's the best one of the fucking four.
Yeah.
Like contracts like that, you don't move. Like it's pretty much like trading Nikita Kucherov when he had that like amazing contract. Like you don't do that.
Yeah.
But
I
it
also
wouldn't
it could be one of
surprise
those
me.
cases where they don't where if they do trade him, they're not gonna get anything that's gonna help.
They're
Like
gonna lose
be
the trade
yeah, probably.
without a doubt.
Now the main two, Mitch Marner.
Uh, you know, I love Mitch. I really do. I've loved him since he got here. I think he's gone. I think
Jeez.
I think they end up moving him because I think you can get the most for him. It's one of those deals that you can probably move just because of how good he's been the last couple of years. My issue with this is like I don't see a scenario where trading like even two of the big four like gets you a win. I don't think you win either of the trades, and I think one of the two wins the cup next year if they get moved.
I see a world where trading Marner could help them
Yeah, I like
because
I do too.
I was looking at before he signed that big contract, there was a team that was looking at him and they were going to pay him like 15
Columbus,
million. Yeah,
they're going to pay him 14 million a season. If you can trade him to Columbus for one of their like good prospects that they got, and they have a lot,
they have a lot, and they're going to get more.
if you can trade Marner for like a Kent Johnson, maybe a Juracek, I might. It's not a bad move.
I could agree with that. I could definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I I think he stays. I'm gonna.
Like
I
I
think
just don't know. They have a lot of challenges this offseason.
they
Like
just
it's
can't. I know damn well they're not gonna run it back. So I'm gonna get to the last person,
because you
which
can't.
is you can. You physically can after this season. I don't feel like you can for the sanity of Leafs fans. I
You
don't
mean like
feel like it's an
mine
option.
that I have none left?
Yours, Steve's, everybody's,
Oh no,
actually fucking everybody's.
you have the okay. I'm gonna go off on a couple of Leafs fans right now because my whole problem is they're the same people that complain that like why aren't we getting any progress or anything like that. And then when they lose in 5 games in the second round to a team they very should have beat, they're like, "Oh, run it back. We got this next year." No, they fucking don't. They don't. Like
No. And I'm
it's
glad that like I was watching the SDPN podcast, like the entire I
yeah.
watched a whole 2 hour thing.
Yeah.
And all three of them, I think collectively kind of realized like,
And like it's one of those things like I remember seeing it like Adam like was saying, "Oh, like you could run it back with this core, like I believe in them." And then when they talked about it more, there's this realization that you can't do it.
yeah, you're driving yourself into insanity at that
Like
point.
you can't do it. Like they've been around for like 5 years now, 5, 6 years now. You
This is
can't
the
run it
seventh
back.
year.
You can't run it back.
This has been 7 years.
Yeah. Something about
So,
this core is not working.
and that's where it's gonna get interesting. I think
Yeah. And
the
the
last
other
person,
thing, the other thing is before we get to Austin,
yeah,
the other thing is the thing that makes me a little bit angry about this core is they tied themselves down with the signing of John Tavares. They made their contending window so tight that like you strapped yourself with money and can't go out to get people to retool. You could have easily gotten a number 2 centerman in like say a Johnny Gaudreau or something like that if you just waited. I get the name appeal with John Tavares. I get that he's a hometown guy, but you have these two guys in Matthews and Marner making this much money. That's why I'm saying Marner is the one who ends up getting moved because centers are much more valuable than wingers. So if you can get like a couple of really good prospects who are like maybe role players, might be stars even, it's more beneficial to you. Like, and I'll just cut to the Matthews one right now, whether staying or going. If I'm the Leafs, I do everything in my power to keep him, even though he scored 0 goals in the second round series. Like, you built the whole team around him. He wants to stay. In terms of keeping the team competitive, so you don't have to do a full rebuild, you keep the centers. You keep the centers,
I
keep
could
the
see that.
strength down the middle. Like, down the middle is the most important thing to any hockey team. So I keep Austin. You hope the second round slump is a one off, and you use the savings with a Marner trade possibly to retool a wing. Like, I think Matthews would be a really, really good player if you could get someone like a Tom Wilson type player on his wing to create space for him. I think that's what most of the problem was when the first line gets shut down. It's just Marner has this tendency, he doesn't like, he makes space with skill, but the problem is if you get a guy who can keep up with him, Matthews gets no space. You need a physical presence guy with some speed to get around, to take up a lot of attention, whether it's pissing off the opponent or just genuinely making good moves. That's why Ovechkin scores the amount of goals he does, because
Mm-hmm.
Wilson or Backstrom have a physical and skilled enough presence to take up like two guys, and your goal scorer is wide open. They need that type of player. It's not like they're lacking skill. I actually think they have too much of a good thing. I think they have too many skill players, and just the physicality, like that's what made Florida eat them alive. Just the physicality of Florida ate them for lunch.
And that's and I like that you brought up the physicality because it's like at some point I think at least Leafs fans who work in commentary, I think all collectively realized it's like after a while it's like can you really keep whining about like the goalie and the not whining but like saying that we I think you know what I mean like you're just
You
getting
can
beat
say
up.
whining. It doesn't hurt
I
my
guess it
feelings
is
because they have been.
like 'cause, oh we get beat up by Boston, we get beat up by Florida, we get beat up by the Habs or the Lightning
Yeah.
or Boston.
Yeah, it's like look at all of their opponents they've lost to in this slump of time, like from 2013 to now, like the last 10 years.
The
Look
only
at the
one I think
teams
they
they've
might get a
played.
pass is the Caps.
Nah, the Caps like slaughtered them on the physicality
Yeah,
end
but that was
too.
like a first year thing, so I'm not really.
But still, like they still roughed them up a ton. Like it still
Yeah,
fits.
I
Like
guess it is true.
Boston,
Yeah,
Boston killed them on the physical end, wore them down from game 1 to game 7, beat them. Caps wore them down physicality. Like, sure, they had a bunch of rookies, but wore them down a bunch, lost. Boston wore them down 2 seasons in a row, lost in 7. Montreal wore them down throughout the comeback through the physical play, made them lose. Tampa wore them down last year, made them lose. Florida wore them down, made them lose. Like, it's a very similar play style. Like, the play style of their opponents, Florida was probably very smart, watched the film from the Tampa series last year and like, okay, what makes these guys fold? Physical play makes them fold. They didn't care if they had to take out Matthew Nyes with a rock bottom. Like, they didn't care. It's
yeah.
physical play. Like, they didn't do anything about it. Like, the Matthew Kachuk type players like ate them alive, like they did. Sam Bennett, Matthew Kachuk, Sam Reinhart ate them alive
I guess my
because they
question would
wanted
be
it more.
because I'm gonna say I think they trade Matthews, and I have two reasons for this. One, he has one less year, meaning they have 1 year left of him,
Yeah,
and he's gonna want more money.
yeah.
And I think this playoff alone, he burned millions.
I think with what this season holds, if you can manage a Marner trade, that frees up like $11 million, right? 10.6, 11-ish million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say Matthews gets like a $12.5 million contract, so like a $1 million raise for 8 years. You still have 9 million to work with. And they're not going to re-sign John Tavares at 11 million. So if they re-sign
That's
John
true.
Tavares after this contract, say he makes like 5, you have $14 million.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely a
like
possibility.
this situation, they're one trade away. Like, sure, they might not be as good, but they're one trade away from making like significant progress in retooling this team. Because I don't think they need, like, I've seen a lot of people saying they need to blow it up. Like, blow it up is like super subjective. You trade one of the big contracts. I think Marner's is the most appealing
Mm-hmm.
because I think on the right team, he could be the guy and make everyone else on the team better. Because on this team, he's not the guy.
No,
Um, but like I think they're a Marner trade away from freeing up a ton of money to bring in like a bunch of grit, a bunch of top end guys for the first line, whether it's through free agency or drafting. I think they're one trade away from potentially rewriting the entire ship. I think they are. Like, I don't think
honest.
this is
Yeah,
a full surgery type thing where you need to get rid of every single piece of like the big four. Like, I don't think it's something like that.
it's
I
not
think
yet. I'd
it's,
say maybe 1 or 2 more years down the line if they don't.
yeah,
They have to do something, and I think they know this.
I think you trade Marner, wait 2 years for Tavares' deal to end. If you want to bring back Johnny, cool. If you don't, also cool. He's not going to make 11 million again. There's no way.
No, and I think that's where the big thing's gonna come in is that like I mean we talked about it enough. Like they're gonna choose one or the other. They could
Yeah.
trade Nylander. They're not gonna trade Tavares. It's one or the
Yeah.
other.
I don't think they're trading Nylander. I don't think they are.
They can't. I think they're gonna lose that if they do.
Yeah. I think the only trade they can possibly win is a Marner trade with Columbus and try to get some of their good prospects they have, especially on the defensive side of the puck. Columbus has so many good defensive prospects to where like you can solve your defensive problems in a Marner trade with Columbus.
Yeah, I
And
could
if you
agree with
can
that.
get them to throw Kent Johnson in that trade too, pair him with Matthew Nyes, you just made significant progress if you do that. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
agree.
that's necessarily a loss for Toronto. I don't. It sucks for Marner. Like, I get he grew up as a fan of this team, but I think of the four, Marner's the one to go
I could see that.
because Matthews is such an integral part of this team. I just can't see him moving. Like, I know I said on the last episode that like you look into moving him, and I think they listen to offers just to gauge on what they have. But
I think it's gonna
Matthews
depend on this. Wait, you could go ahead. Maybe.
Matthews today in his press conference openly said that he wants to get a deal done like by the end of the month. So I think you ink Matthews to a contract. I'm hoping it's 12.5 to 13 range. And you ship off the Marner deal and save 10 million and save around 7 million on the books. Because you can get two really good wingers for $7 million. You can.
You could. Yeah.
Especially with the cap going up next season, you can get it.
It's definitely gonna be interesting, especially with
Yeah.
like free agency not too far around the corner.
Yeah. And like there are a bunch of good like free agents. Also, if you deal Marner, you can slide O'Reilly in. Like you can sign Ryan O'Reilly if you get rid of Marner.
Yeah, that's
Like
actually
it's
true.
not I think a lot of people are galaxy braining this. I think it comes down to in my opinion, and I love Mitch Marner. This is not me saying I hate Mitch Marner and that I
No,
think he's
I
a
get
bad
it.
player. I love him. I've been a big fan of him ever since he got drafted, since his first goal against Boston. Like I love the guy. He's been great, but when push comes to shove, this is a business. Like it sucks. Hockey is one of those sports where like
It's
players get
sports. Sports
traded.
is business.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky got traded. Anyone can get traded. So I think you free up the 10 mil, prepare for the Matthews contract to kick in, and wait for Tavares's 11 million to get closed. I think that's what the plan is.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I guess to wrap up, depending on what happens, round 3 is going to be weird.
Round 3, I'm looking at it like, I'm happy but not for the Eastern Conference, because I think it'll be good
Yeah.
for growing the game. However, I think the NHL's biggest weakness is the ESPN coverage. If you can't get ESPN,
Mm,
if you can't get ESPN to move
not
a
ESPN.
if you couldn't get ESPN to move a meaningless baseball game for an elimination hockey game with the best player in the fucking world on it, like it's just annoying, man. Like, if I'm the NHL, I move all of the internet, or I move all the national games to TNT, all of them.
Even if you just went 2 ways with TNT and TBS.
TNT is just better. It is.
Yeah.
ESPN's coverage is just, it's lacking in
Awful.
everything. It's lacking in
Trash.
everything. Yeah. There's one guy I would poach from
Fuck
ESPN.
Steve Levy.
Yeah, I agree. There's one guy I would poach from ESPN and put him on the TNT panel.
What's
I
wrong?
put PK Subban.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting you were to
Yeah.
ESPN.
I would poach PK Subban from ESPN and move him to TNT with Bissonnette. I think he'd be perfect for a partner with
I
Bissonnette.
like Subban. He's the
Yeah.
one reason I can actually stomach listening to it.
Yeah. Because the
He's,
NHL is trying the NBA on TNT, like that panel with Shaq and Charles Barkley.
it's amazing.
I think it's perfect. I think Paul
Amazing.
Bissonnette and PK Subban would be perfect.
Like when I listen, like, and they do it with college games as well. Shaq and Charles Barkley do college games as well, and they're
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
There's someone else. I want to say. I was going to say Reggie Miller. It's not Reggie Miller. It's someone else.
No, it's not Reggie Miller.
I can't remember.
Damn, I
It's the third
forget.
guy.
Yeah, I've kind of tuned out basketball a little bit. I've had a bad couple of days. You're
I was
happy
gonna
right now. You're
talk so
happy
much.
right
I was gonna
now.
talk
I'm
so
not.
much trash
Oh, I know.
on
I
not
know.
you, but another friend of mine who's a Sixers fan.
Yeah, I know. Fucking dude, I'm a fan of the Leafs and the Sixers, and like, what the fuck?
It's okay. I'm a Phillies fan, so I understand pain.
Oh my god. And then
We're still losing 1-0, by the way.
Arsenal, who I'm a fan of, bottles the Premier League to fucking Brighton.
Could be worse.
I had a
I'm a
bad
Man United
72
fan.
hours. You
I'm a
guys have
United
won
fan.
a trophy at least.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
also
don't
have
want to hear
clinical
it.
depression watching them.
Like, I can't really say I'm like super attached to Arsenal. I've been watching the Premier League for 1 year, so I'm like,
I
I'm
watched
trying
it
to
for
gauge.
4.
Yeah. I'm trying to gauge, like, because like I do like Arsenal. I like Boyako Saka a lot. So like
Saka is sick.
that's why I'm like
I hate City.
a fan of them. Like, I don't know. For me, it was between, like, when I was first watching it, because it was after the World Cup. It was between Boyako Saka and Erling Haaland. Those were the two guys that I really loved watching.
I hate Holland. I hate
Holland's a
him.
beast, dude.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Doesn't
I
he
hate
have
him.
like 40 goals or something like that?
Something so stupid. I remember there was a game we got kicked the shit out of. It was United against City and we lost 6-0.
Yeah.
And 2 fuckers had hat tricks against us. 2.
Yeah.
You have
Because
2 hat tricks that game. That was so embarrassing. But
could be
no,
worse. You could be a Tottenham fan.
no, but I think the playoffs are gonna be because the East side is gonna be weird. It's gonna be
Yeah.
big. Like it's good for hockey, but bad for. I think good for the future, bad for now.
Yeah. But
And
I
as for the
do
Western
think,
series, it'll be interesting.
yeah. I do think the Eastern Conference series will be very good, though, because I think the two teams match up against each other really well.
I
I'm
think
kind of excited for it,
I think
honestly.
Carolina's gonna destroy them. I think they're gonna win in 5.
I'm going to have a hot take.
You think Florida wins?
Florida in 7 games.
Wild, crazy.
If Florida plays like they did against Toronto, I think they could win the cup. And I never would have said that when the playoffs first started.
That's crazy.
I think Florida, like, the only thing like that's preventing me from saying Florida a little bit is because they played Boston, who's a great team, and they played Toronto, who was also a great team. Well, Toronto was a diamond in the rough for very shitty teams for a long time. Like they won 2 more games than they normally do. So yay. But
It's gonna be okay.
but no, I think Florida has the potential to do it. Like,
It's okay. We have a 6-week therapy session.
yeah. But no, I think Florida can do it. I really do. It
I'll
wouldn't
get
surprise
that's
me.
fair. And as for the Western one, if it's gonna depend on what happens. We're still losing 1-0, but
Yeah.
if Seattle wins, I think we lose in 7. If Dallas wins, I think they win in 6.
Ooh.
I
The
don't think we're
West
gonna have to beat Vegas, but I think if Dallas wins, they'll beat Vegas bad. I think
Ooh.
Vegas is still slightly overrated in my mind, as good as they've been.
I don't know because it might be Vegas's year. I think it
I
might be
think they're too
Vegas.
arrogant. I
I
think they're
think it
so
might be
way too
Vegas's
arrogant.
year. I don't know, man. They've been under the radar a lot this season. They've had like the most quiet first place finish I've seen in a long time.
I'll give you that. And I like it does help. Like one of the biggest winners of the trade deadline this year was Vegas with Barbashev.
And Teddy
Holy shit.
Bluger.
I don't even remember. Yeah, Bluger, I think, has been there and
Yeah.
doing solid. But Barbashev has been like probably one of their
Barbashev.
best performers easily.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I don't even
like
think they gave up all that much to get him.
I think the Oilers are gonna have the pain of losing to the cup champions again.
I think it's gonna depend. I think it depends.
Yeah.
We'll know at the end of the series.
I
I'll put
think
out
it'll
something
depend
depending on
on
what happens with this
goaltending.
game.
Yeah, I think it'll depend on goaltending for Vegas, but at the
Do you
same
really think
time,
Aiden Hill is gonna get him all the way there?
I don't think it matters.
You think?
I think Vegas's defense is good enough to hang.
That is true. And you have a
They beat
defense.
the Oilers, who had the best power play in NHL history and had like the highest scoring offense in the entire NHL, and they beat them with Aiden Hill.
I will. Yeah, that's
Like,
true. That is true.
I think they can
I
beat anyone.
I yeah, I could see that. No, it's gonna be interesting.
I would genuinely wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be. Like it's crazy to say, but I would not be surprised if we had a Florida
Go to
versus Vegas
Vegas.
series.
That would be crazy.
And ironically, I thought Matthew Tkachuk was gonna end up in Vegas when that trade was first like circling around. Like I thought Matthew Tkachuk would have been like a perfect fit for Vegas,
There's
but
no way Vegas would have been able to do the cap gymnastics to get him
mm,
there.
yeah, no. The cap is an
A myth.
imaginary construct. It's a social construct, you know.
That seems like Vegas and the Lightning manipulate at will.
Oh, if you think Toronto doesn't manipulate the
Oh,
cap, you're
Toronto does
lying to
it as well,
yourself.
but Toronto
Dude, we
does
had
it
to
as well.
play
But
three
those two
games.
teams do it so crazy.
Toronto had to play 3 games without a goalie, for God's sake.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we had 3 games where we had an emergency fucking goalie.
who was it? It wasn't
Two of them were Jet Alexander, who was a University of Toronto goalie,
Oh
and I
my
think the
god,
other one was Scott Foster, who played for the Blackhawks.
Scott. No, 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 no,
I
no,
think
no,
it
no,
was
no, no.
Scott Foster.
But this season,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Let me fact check this. I have to
I
fact
know
check
he
this.
was an emergency backup goalie for Toronto this season. It was funny as shit. I saw the name and I'm like, what?
All I see, okay, so I looked at games played. Jet Alexander is there.
Yeah.
When the hell was this?
I don't think
I was against
Scott Foster
Montreal.
I don't think Scott Foster would will show up.
Yeah.
Also, Seattle needs a score, man. God damn it.
If
We're
we
running
lose
out of
1-0,
time.
we lose 1-0, I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah, but that would be the story of the series. Jake Ottinger, it'd
Bails
be
him
the
out.
story of the series.
Take on it, freaking bails him out.
Yeah.
That would be accurate, but
Yeah.
if we lose, we lose. I'm not gonna complain too much about this season.
First year in the playoffs, you beat the goddamn reigning Stanley Cup champions, dude.
Oh yeah, we did. Bjorkstrand deserves a knighthood for that. I'm telling you,
I
that
was gonna
third line is
say.
one of the nastiest in hockey. Bjorkstrand, Tolvanen, and Gord. Holy shit!
That's good
And the
enough to be
biggest
some
and the
team's
best
second line.
the best part is before I wrap it up with Seattle, we
Yeah.
only really have one priority I think we need to take care of on our current roster, and that's re-sign Vince Dunn. I don't care what you have to do. Move heaven and hell, move anything, move every stone in the world. Keep him for God's sakes.
I
Do
have
not let him walk.
another. I have another suggestion, and I'm gonna get really close to the mic when I say this.
Oh, let's hear this. Oh, his blue snowball, baby.
Get a goaltender.
Just well, they're kind of screwed for right now.
Yeah, but like get a goalie for God's sake. Get a
I'll
goalie.
try. My hope is that they could ship Grubauer after this season. Keep Drieger as a backup.
Dude, get rid of fucking Martin Jones.
No, Martin Jones was on a 1-year deal. He's not coming back.
Oh, thank the Lord, man.
That was just a 1 year, like, see what happens.
Dude, the other thing
And he's
I
bad.
wanna the other thing I
Wow.
want to talk about, the other thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up is the did you see the Flyers statement they put out about the new era of orange or something like that?
I'm gonna Google this
Yeah, I'm
right
gonna
now. Would I find it?
I think I should read it. I think I should read it aloud.
Wait, is it this?
I think I should read it aloud for the audience to hear.
Wait. Is it
Are
on
you
a
ready? Are you ready?
what's it on exactly?
It's about their new president of hockey ops, Keith Jones, for God's
Okay, I'm
sake,
on the wrong one then.
and Daniel Briere. No, it starts. Or I'll just read it. I'll just read it.
Yeah, do it.
The Philadelphia Flyers organization was built on relentless ambition and loyalty to the city. When you're playing for Philadelphia, you're playing to win and you're giving it your all. That's the bottom line, because when you represent this city, nothing less is acceptable. That extends beyond the ice, too. It's about character, sacrifice, integrity, and most importantly, resilience in every single thing we do. This sounds like a pyramid scheme already. When you don the orange and black, you're held to a specific set of standards and you're expected to show up and work your ass off. They put ass in a
Like
public
star.
statement. In a public no, they said just
Wait.
ass. It just says ass. They put that on the
So is
public
this like
statement.
is it a press conference turned into a written statement?
It's a statement like about where
Or
they're
is it like
going
an
as an
actual
organization.
drafted statement?
It was an actual drafted statement. As I was
Keep going.
saying, you're expected to show up and work your ass off every single day. It's about doing things the right way. No excuses, no shortcuts. This is a new era of hockey, and we're building a new foundation for the future. New ways to work, new ways to train, and new ways to win. We have new voices, new perspectives, and new plans. But this is still Flyers hockey, so the goal remains the same: win. Welcome to a new era of orange, where we are going to get more oranger.
No. That ending is
The
not a good
last part was
Okay, thank God. Thank Christ. I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna
Dude.
lift up my mic, and I'm gonna say it like this. All right. What the fuck is that statement? All right.
Okay.
Number one, you put a swear word in a press release. I've talked with three different. I've talked with a teacher in sports journalism. I talked with a teacher in sports journalism. I have talked with two people in the PR world. You do not put fucking cuss words in a written press release that goes out to the public. You don't. Second,
Dude.
that's just a bunch of nothing.
It
Oh
is
my
literally a
God.
bunch of nothing.
What?
It's
That's
literally,
ridiculous.
dude.
Oh my God.
Flyers fans deserve so much better than what they're getting. It's absolutely insane to me. Like all of Philly's teams are so much better than the Flyers. Like and my thing is, I don't think the Flyers fix is gonna be in one go. I don't. Like
Screwed. They have some of the worst contracts in the league. You
yeah,
have freaking Ryan Ellis,
who's never
is
gonna
he
play
even gonna
again.
play? You have Cam Atkinson, who's never gonna play again.
Yeah.
Kevin Hayes, who's a freaking disaster. Do I even need to bring up the one of the worst contracts in the league? You know who I'm talking about. Why don't you say the name? Why don't you say the name loud? Loud and proud to the class.
The thing is, there are a bunch of them that like I could easily get this question
You know
wrong.
the obvious one. You know who it is. It's obvious as hell.
Is it
They
Nick?
traded
Oh
for
no, it's
him.
Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
God.
I was gonna say him or
Oh
Nick
no, the Deloria
Delorier.
one is pretty bad as well, but that one was really stupid. But no,
Yeah,
Rasmus, bro, they traded assets to get him a first, a
yeah,
second, and Robert Hag, who actually saw
yeah,
for the Sabres, and he's gonna get
yeah.
better. And
Like,
then extended him to a 5-year deal. And Rasmus Ristolainen had no goals until like game 29.
yeah. And I think like what the Flyers were like, what they needed to bank on was winning the draft lottery. And like the good news for them is like this draft is really deep, but at the same time, like I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go from here because it's not like they can just move out those deals and buy people out. Like having Chuck Fletcher as their GM for as long as they did.
Awful.
Oh, it fucked them over for so long because they
Awful.
had Ron Hextall before him who managed to end the Penguins postseason streak, which like you have to try to do that. Like that's so bad. You had Ron
I'm gonna
Hextall
trade
who was
Mikkel
shit.
Granlund.
Ron Hextall who was like
Awful.
objectively shit.
Horrendous.
And then Chuck Fletcher who signed two of the worst contracts in NHL history before coming to the Flyers and then signs another really terrible contract.
Oh, so
Like
it's a ton of contracts. Was Ron Hextall the one who signed Kevin Hayes, or was that Fletcher?
I think it was Fletcher. I
Fletcher
think it was
signed
Fletcher who signed him by
he
seven by
signed three
seven.
god awful. Wait, let me count this up in my head, make sure I'm not being an idiot.
Yeah.
There's Rasmus,
Yep.
there's Kevin Hayes,
Yep.
there's Delorier,
Yep.
and then there's Ryan, and then it's trading for Ryan Ellis. So technically he's got 4 bad contracts sitting on his head,
Yeah.
all of which are pretty much unmovable.
And instead of trying to develop our prospects, let's hire noted offense killer John Tortorella.
And then bring in Tony DeAngelo.
Tony DeAngelo's contract is pretty bad too.
That one's gonna be pretty bad as well, but that
Yeah.
one's at least probably movable because a lot of
It's
teams like him.
movable. It's movable.
But
Like I
yeah, I
don't
guess you
know.
can count that as well. That's 5.
Because like
JVR,
my
JVR,
thing
that's
with
6.
my thing with the Flyers, it's very
Christ.
different from the Leafs because the Leafs fix is like it's right there in front of you. Like you can piece it together. Like you can make a couple of moves if you wanted to, and like there would be a fix. The Flyers thing, I genuinely don't know where they go. I don't
They're a
know.
hopeless chasm.
Like I don't know. Like it's
Like
going to take forever to get this team back on track. Like it's going to take forever, and it sucks.
if I were to
Because
pick
like
the yeah, anyway, keep going. Might be.
like I was just gonna say, hockey is more fun when like a couple of teams are good. It's more fun when the Flyers are good and the Penguins are good because that rivalry is great. The Caps are good because those three rivalries are great. The
With the
Red
Rangers as
Wings are
well.
good. The Rangers, like the Flyers being as bad as they've been for this long, it's just a shame. It really is because that market is so good. Like the fans are passionate. Like it,
You can't have
every
more crazy
Philly
fans than Philly.
every Philly team's fan base, it just so passionate about their team and like the
Yeah, we're
fact that people
psycho.
they're becoming apathetic towards arguably the most popular team in the city. Like it's
Ooh,
crazy.
that's a hot take.
Dude, during hockey season when the Flyers are good, man, you like that city you see nothing but Flyers gear. It's crazy.
Wild.
The Flyers are super popular in that city.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I guess if I were to say this to end it, like if I were to pick 5 organizations that I would not want to go right now and have to manage, I'll say these: Penguins.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Flames.
Yeah, I agree.
I would not know what to do with that organization right now.
Draft well.
That's
That's
not going to
about
save you. Not what they are. There's no way.
it's really the only thing they can do.
Yeah, they're screwed. That they're going to have that deal hang over their heads unless Huberto finds a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
Those two, Yotes, because the entire
Arizona.
organization is just
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, a complete dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire, sell the team. You play in a college arena, you fucking suck.
and that's before I even said the Flyers.
Yeah.
That's 4. And if I were to say 5, 5 might be a bit suggestive, but actually, no, it's not. The Sharks,
Yeah, that's the tough one. I think the Sharks, though,
they're
they're
going to be
sitting at
stuck with
four.
bad contracts for another 3 years, I'd say.
My thing with the Sharks, you're sitting at fourth overall, right? In the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Matvey Michkov is going to slip to 4. He's likely going to slip to 4.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
It's a guy they've been comparing to Ovechkin for years now. I pick him. You wait a little bit, wait for a couple of the bad contracts to go to leave. I think if they pit if they get Michkov, they're in good shape.
Yeah. I think if they're gonna have any chance, I'd say this: shop, shop either Couture or Carlson while you
Yep.
can,
Yeah.
and then find some way to buy out Mark Edward Vlasic at some point.
My problem is the time to trade Eric Carlson
Was this year?
was the trade deadline.
This year,
Yep.
I'm surprised no one wanted him. That was insane to me.
Oh, people did. The Sharks just wanted a king's ransom for him.
Oh, so they're stupid. Okay, nice.
Yeah, so
Even
like
better.
you have an $11 million contract that you want a king's ransom for.
Idiots.
Nice.
Idiots. But it's definitely gonna be interesting as we finish covering the third round and
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup and then the free agency. Even
Because
though it's gonna be probably the weakest round of free agency in like 4 or 5 years,
yeah,
we gonna make some banger coverage.
a lot of teams are at a crossroads right now, and that's why I think the offseason is going to be very interesting.
If it's this might be the most trade heavy offseason yet.
Oh, I think it will be. I think it will be.
Because like think about how many teams are at crossroads: the Canucks, the Preds, the Flames, the Flyers, the Leafs, the Penguins, the freaking Caps, the set. Actually, no, the Sens and Sabres are also in a crossroads because they're
So
gonna
the Oilers.
the Oilers, the Right Wings.
Yeah.
I'd even throw the Islanders in there.
I
Shit.
would throw the Islanders in there too.
I actually no, I'll throw one more team in there. The Rangers. Ooh,
Agreed. I
boy.
think Lafreniere and Capo Caco are as good as gone.
I think it's a possibility. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. I do
Uh,
too.
anything else?
No, I think that's a good place to wrap up. What's
Yes,
the
sir.
score in is it still 1-0?
Crying.
He's still 1-0. All right.
Crying.
Well,
Gonna 1-0. Gonna lose
hopefully
one
they
nothing.
hopefully they pull it out for you. We'll see.
Freaking lose 1-0. It's gonna make me
I,
so mad.
I hope not. I hope not. But yeah, I think it's a good place to wrap it up. So thank you
Sir.
guys for tuning in this week. I know the title was nuclear. I was trying not to be too harsh because like I don't want my thing is like I get like I'm a Leafs fan, everything like that. I don't want this show to be like purely about Toronto. Like that's not what I'm
Yeah,
trying to do. It was more just like they got to do something, whether or not it's blow it up like everyone is saying. Like, we'll see. I mean,
we love the clickbait.
yeah,
Though. No,
it's not even really click. It's not even really clickbait. Like I don't know, but
nah, I'm just messing with you.
yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in this week. We appreciate it. We'll
We
see you
do.
next week. Take care. Have a good week. If your team's still in the playoffs, which I don't know if any of you guys watching are. If Seattle pulls it out, maybe.
Days.
Good luck to you guys if you're still in the playoffs. Other than that, have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next time.